All right. Ooh. Today in the Bible, we are continuing our conversation on angels, which is just, I think it is so cool to learn about angels. So I have a word written up here. It says evil. Now, we've all probably heard that word before. Evil is sin or wickedness. That is what that word means. Evil is part of life on earth because of Adam and Eve's fall. When Jesus prayed the Lord's Prayer, he taught the disciples to pray to be delivered from the evil one. Even though Jesus knew that even though Christians have a heavenly home, we live in an evil world. Sadly, we as Christians sometimes suffer the physical and emotional effects of evil. Now, if you notice, I can add one letter in front of evil. I put a D there. And now the word is devil. So today we're going to talk about a great evildoer, and he is called the devil. In our previous lesson, we learned that some angels are fallen angels, also called demons. And at one time, the angels were loyal to God, but they rebelled, and Satan was kind of their leader. So Satan, God's enemy, is one of the fallen angels. Although the Bible does not exactly say when he rebelled against God, it does tell a number of things about Satan's history and nature, including the fact that Satan is a liar and even called the father of lies. All right, so we are going to read a verse in Ezekiel 28. So let me do this for you. All right, Ezekiel 28. So right here. That is in the Old Testament, not a book we go to super often. And I'm going to start in the second half of verse 12. All right, it says, "This is what the sovereign Lord says. You are the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the Garden of Eden. Every precious stone adorned you. Carnelian, chrysolite, and emerald, topaz, onyx, and jasper, lapis lazuli, turquoise, and beryl. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were on the holy mountain of God. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways, from the day you were created till wickedness was found in you. Through your widespread trade, you were filled with violence, and you sinned. So I drove you in disgrace and from the mount of God, and I expelled you, guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. So I threw you to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. By your many sins and dishonest trade, you have desecrated your sanctuaries. So I made a fire come out from you, and it consumed you, and I reduced you to ashes on the ground, in the sight of all who were watching." All right, so this passage describes Satan, what happened to him. As being perfect and beautiful when God created him. He enjoyed fellowship with God. He was allowed access to the Garden of Eden. That's how he got in. However, Satan sinned. Verse 17, it says that Satan was proud, and that pride is what led him to sin against God. He was thrown out of heaven, and that is when he was forced to live on earth. So he was perfect and beautiful and an angel of God. All right, so now we're going to go to Isaiah 14, chapter 14, verses 12 through 15. All right. It says, "How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth. You who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. But you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit." The end. All right, so this passage, that was intense, shows how Satan wanted to be as great as God. He tried to be as great as God. And his pride and attempt to place himself as an equal to God resulted in the irrevocable consequence of God's righteous judgment for sin. So he wanted to be equal to God, but that is when he got cast down, cast out of heaven. He had the best life, and then it got destroyed because of the choices that he made. Crazy. All right, now we're going to go to Revelation chapter 12, start in verse 7. Revelation is a crazy book. There's so much happening in Revelation. There's a lot about future prophecies that haven't happened yet, or maybe they have happened. We don't know. But there's a lot of crazy. It's kind of hard to understand even for adults. All right, verse 7 says, Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. The dragon and his angels fought back, but he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth and his angels with him. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, Now have come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled. They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to the earth and the sea, because the devil has gone to you. He is filled with fury, because he knows that his time is short. Okay. So in this passage, it describes a war in heaven between the dragon and Michael. Satan and his fallen angels, the ones who agree with him, the demons, fight against God. And of course, they are defeated ultimately, because God is the ultimate one who is in control. All right, before we go to Colossians. So in this world, the devil and his demons try to inflict as much evil as they can. They know Jesus has defeated and disarmed the devil, that God has limited the devil's temporary power on earth. They know they are condemned to eternal punishment. Yet before they are sent away forever, they try to pull as many people away from God as possible by tempting people, even believers, to sin. Sin results in trouble, confession, and painful experiences. All right, so I'm going to read Colossians 1, verses 10 through 14. So that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please him in every way, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience, and giving joyful thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of his holy people in the kingdom of light. For he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. And your Bible verse for this week, 1 John 4:4. You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who's in the world. Saying God, who lives in us, when we make that choice to follow him, is greater than Satan, the one who is in the world trying to tempt us. God has rescued us all from Satan's power of dominion, and this can bring peace to us, which is pretty cool. All right, and I'm going to end this Bible lesson with a prayer, just because it's kind of a heavy topic. So bow your heads, close your eyes. Dear God, I thank you for these kiddos and making them a part of my life this year. And I just pray that you continue to watch over us and protect us and protect them, and keep them safe in this crazy, crazy time, and allow them to not give in to temptation, and to just remember that you have their back and you're watching them and you have guardian angels and you're protecting all of us in your own ways, whatever that looks like for each of us. And I just pray that we will glorify you in our words and our actions, and we love you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so now, and you can work with a parent on this or a sibling on page 119 in your workbooks, and you can do that on your own. You look up some verses and you are underlining the name of Satan. Satan has many, many names. So these are some passages that share some of his names. So you are underlining the